In this video, we'll look at the solutions for the 2016 exam paper, question 3. For this question, you were given two parallel arrays and one two-dimensional array. I hope you've watched the video on how to deal with two-dimensional arrays. The two one-dimensional arrays that are parallel, the first was ARR activities, and ARR activities had water park, aquarium, the sea, restaurants, etc. And then for each of those, you had a code. So the water park code was W, the aquarium code was A, the sea code was S, the restaurant code was R, and the shopping code was X. So this is the parallel arrays. One had the activities and the other had the codes. And then there is the two-dimensional array. And in the two-dimensional array, you've got terminals, terminal 1, 2, terminal 1, 2, and 3, and the four directions, north, south, east, and west. So here we have a particular code, for example, SWA. So at terminal 2, in the direction north, you've got SWA. S corresponds to the activity C, W corresponds to a water park, and A corresponds to the aquarium. So those are the three activities that take place for this particular code for terminal 2 in the direction north. Let's look at the first question, 3.1. In this question, the program must display, so you need to display the contents of the two-dimensional array in neat rows and columns. In other words, you needed to display the array in tabular form. It had to be in this table form. We've got some headings here. Remember that these headings are not part of the 2D arrays. We've got, that is a row heading, and these are column headings, and these are the row headings. So we need to be able to get these headings in together with the codes that are in the two-dimensional array. The direction, the code for the direction was provided, so we don't need to worry about getting those headings. How do we display this in tabular form? We have the rows. There are 3 rows. So the outer loop that will control the rows, I from 1 to 3. And then the J loop controls your columns. And your columns are 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if you watched the video on 2D arrays, you will recall that in order to access each value in the 2D array, these are the values in your 2D array, you need to have a nested loop. And you also need to remember that when the outer loop starts and then you go into the inner loop must complete its cycle 4 times before it can go back to the outer loop to increment to the next number. That's how a nested loop works. So when I is 1, we are building up a string, str, it's just a string variable. Str, in other words, we're printing terminal, and we get the I value, which is the number, in other words, terminal 1, and we leave a tab space. Then the J loop is going to display 3 times, and it's going to accumulate the values in the 2D array. At I1, J1, then J becomes 2, 1, 2. J becomes 3, 1, 3. J becomes 4, 1, 4. In other words, it will display the values of the first row in the array. Once that is finished, we can then display that entire row, which includes terminal 1 with all its values. We then go back to the top, I becomes 2. We then accumulating a new string, which is starting all over again from terminal 2 and the values in that row, and then we display the values at terminal 2. that display takes place, go back up, I becomes 3. We're then working with terminal 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 values are accumulated and that is displayed. So this is how we go about displaying values in tabular form.